Good evening. So I am back um with another good topic. The reason why I'm saying this topic is good is because it's a lesson to be learned in this tragic situation all around the board. When they first reported um this incident that happened on Union Square in MTA, where a lady was struck by the train. Like they thought that somebody was surfing on the train because this is a lot of this stuff is going on in the train system where they got young teenagers, right, youth in the future surfing on top of the train. This is what they doing. So their first initiative was thinking that this lady she was surfing on the train or was trying to surf on the train. As MTA did their investigation, stuff like that, they found out that this lady climbed down on the track. Now on the track, and you see in my dummy, it says go beyond do not go beyond this point right here. And I circled it. And I circled the lady, right? Somehow, some way, she was using the bathroom, basically. I don't know what possessed her to go down there, but she went down there. It's very dangerous down there. If you don't know about the train systems in New York City, when you go beyond that point, is big, huge rats down there that look like raccoons, straight like that. And then there's mole people that they call down there. You don't know who's down there, so you going at as your own risk, right? And taking a chance of your life going down there. You don't know what's gonna come jumping at you down there when you go down there, actually, right? Some way, somehow, I don't know how she got trapped, but there's stairs leading down there, like a ladder of stairs leading down there. The train came and smashed her and killed her and dragged her, right? I don't know if she was high, drunk, but we're gonna show um the initial report report of report of the woman, this happened on June the 17th, 2025, basically. So we're gonna show the video, and you there's a
They've been
backstory to this.
policing it forever here in New York, right? And it's kids in New York riding on tops of trains. They've been doing it for decades. But when you add the element of social media and the need to like show people something cool and the rush for likes, it seems that we're seeing this actually more and more.
And it is deadly. Right now, a teenager is fighting for his life in the hospital after he fell while subway surfing in the Bronx. This happened yesterday afternoon at the Baychester Avenue station.
We
Hold
have
on one second. This is wrong, but hold on. Maybe it ties in. Hold on one second. One second. One second. One second.
completely avoidable subway tragedy as well happening late last night at the Union Square station. For some reason, a woman jumped onto the tracks. She tried to get back onto the platform, but couldn't make it out in time to avoid a moving train. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate joins us live with what he heard from witnesses when they saw her final moments. It's just so disturbing to hear those details as police tell us that this 24-year-old woman had jumped onto the tracks, but witnesses say that she didn't intend to stay there. They say that when she was here at the Union Square station that she tried to get back onto the platform, but unfortunately that's when she was struck by a northbound L train. Now she was pronounced dead here at the scene. Her identity is still unknown. Video on your screen right now as an active investigation got underway here at the train station as service was suspended for hours. Now, this all happened just around 10:20 last night. It's still unclear as to why this woman had went onto the tracks, but one witness recalls the horror that just happened underground. She's stuck between the train where the passengers look at where the train is coming, the yellow line, and the entrance to the train itself. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? This was grisly. Blood. I couldn't see anything except blood Now, MTA advises riders not to get onto the tracks. They say that it can be deceiving that thinking that you can get back onto the platform.
All right.
With a moving train. At a
In the hospital after he fell while subway surfing in the Bronx. This happened yesterday afternoon at the Baychester Avenue station.
We had another completely avoidable subway tragedy as well happening late last night at the Union Square station. For some reason, a woman jumped onto the tracks. She tried to get back onto the platform, but couldn't make it out in time to avoid a moving train. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate joins us live with what he heard from witnesses when they saw her fall.
Okay. That's the first initiative of the reports of her um going on the track, relieving herself at the bathroom. On that station, they don't have a bath. They have a bathroom, but it closed. It closed at 7 o'clock. It closed at 7 o'clock. It doesn't stay 24-hour access to the bathroom. So at 7 o'clock they shut the bathroom, they close the bathroom basically. Because they don't want nobody using the bathroom, people using drugs in there. You're going to use the bathroom, they can rob you. There's no cameras in there. I think that they should put cameras in there to see actually what's going on, but people don't care about the cameras nowadays. So there's a back into this story, basically. And I'm going to get into the backstory, right? I wanted to show the video. And I recommend that no one that's living in New York City, right? When it says only for personnel only, do is no entering only for personnel. Do not use these exits. Do not use anything to go down there if you not equipped or have knowledge or training going anywhere. You shouldn't. You should not do that. But people do not care for whatever reason. They put their life in jeopardy. They put their life on the line. And like I said, when people do this, they put themselves as bye bye instead of hi. Bye bye. When you do these certain acts, it's like you telling yourself bye bye. You gotta think before you react on a lot of things. And most people, they don't do that. They don't think. They just react. I'm on demon time. I'm crashing out time, and they don't think. They don't think. So, but this story right here, it's a back into the story of this woman, lady, and I want your guys to be the judge of this. You be the judge of this. Is this a freak accident or just karma? This is karma. So, we're gonna get into the story. I'm gonna read it. Definitely gonna read it. Let's read it. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, right? It says, I'm gonna read it. It says a 24-year-old wants a a 24 a 24 a 24-year-old woman once accused of killing her roommate was fatally struck by a train after she jumped onto the track at a Manhattan subway station to relieve herself last month. This is June. Remember, I just showed you the video. So she was accused of killing someone, of killing a roommate, that her and her man, they was renting a room or something like that. They got into it because of the noise. He was making a lot of noise, and she was with her man, and it was alleged that her man killed this man, right? The strap hand identified by the source as Mayna walked down a ladder onto the train bed in front of a red sign warning commuters to stay off the track at the Union Square station around 10:20 p.m. on June 16th. Video obtained by the Post shows Nina disappearing down the tunnel, but about 15 seconds later, she was seen rushing back towards the platform before a L train plowed into her just as she grabbed onto the ladder. This is crazy. The train violently dragged her down the platform as other strap hangers quickly jumped back. She was pronounced dead when they came on the scene. She was pronounced dead. The police said at the time, no, it was no foul play. There was no suspects, but it was a suspect. I'm gonna show you. She wandered on the train because she needed to urine. Sources told the Post Wednesday. The restroom closed at 7 o'clock. There's a backstory right now. This is the backstory. Back in March, 2020, Mina, then 20, and her boyfriend was arrested initially, accused of beating and stabbing their Bronx roommate to death during an argument over the noise. They both initially were charged with murder, manslaughter, and criminal possession of a weapon, police said at the time. It is unclear what was the resolution of Mina case was, but she was on probation, tried to a criminal possession of a weapon charged at the time of her death. So basically, she was on probation. Her and her man in 2022 was with a roommate. They got into a fight with the roommate, stabbed him and killed him and beat him, allegedly. And she was on probation. She was on probation for weapon possession. Somehow, some way, she probably passed the knife to him. The other guy probably was getting the best of him, and she passed the knife probably to the guy, and he stabbed him up. They beat him up, stabbed him up, murder and manslaughter this guy for the noise. Initially they probably kept telling him, like, listen, man, we trying to sleep, man. You can't be playing that music, man. You can't be playing that music at night. You can't be playing that music in the morning, whatever the case may be. So they probably got tired of that and stepped to him, and they started fighting probably. She passed the knife to him. They stabbed him up, whatever the case may be. Old boy probably went to jail for that manslaughter or murder, or whatever the case may be, and she got charged with the knife. Maybe he was like, yo, I did everything. She didn't do everything, and they probably charged her because probably with the fingerprints on the knife was hers and him, but he probably stepped up and said it was me. She didn't do anything, and they probably charged her with the knife because her print was on the knife. Who knows how it went down? And she was on probation for that. Now you be the judge if this is karma or this is a freak accident. You be the judge of that. Looks like to me, this barbaric devil, demonic, evil, twisted devil backdoored her. Backdoored her. Why would you go down there where it says do not cross? In my thumbnail, do not cross. Do not cross down there. And I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Let me see if I got it. Yeah, look. Right here. I'm gonna show you right here. Look. The big circle is her right there on the platform on the train with this big red sign right here. The big red sign right there says do not cross or do not go down there. Don't go down there. It looks like to me, I don't know if she was drunk or she was high or she wasn't on point. You can hear those trains. You can hear the train coming. Trust me. It's loud. It's loud. Even if you down there, you hear the train. It looks like this barbaric, devil, demonic, evil, twisted, backdoored her. See, these entities lies in the shadow. They watch you and they follow you. They follow you. You don't see them, you can't hear them, and you don't know that you're being followed. They get you in a position. They get you in a place where people is at or something is at, and they can force and push you and hold you while you are in on the fluids or drugs or alcohol or something like that. You don't know what's going on. Yes, I remember you. Yes, it is sad all around to the victim that lost his life in 2022. Allegedly, she participated in killing the roommate with her boyfriend. Then he probably locked up for that manslaughter, and she was on probation. Right, initially she was locked up for manslaughter, right, and weapon possession. Basically, I don't know how the case went, but I don't know how the case went, but it basically it looks like that she got probation. Yeah, that she got probation. Yeah, it says right here that yeah, back in March 2022, her she was 20 at the time, and her boyfriend was arrested initially and accused of beating and stabbing the Bronx roommate to death during an argument over the noise. So she was accused with her then boyfriend, right, of beating and stabbing the roommate. She participated in the murder and the manslaughter, allegedly, and she was on probation. But if he stepped up and said, like, listen, yo, she didn't do anything, she didn't do nothing, it was all me. But if her prints is on that knife, right, and she just got on probation, and he went down for the manslaughter, so she don't have to go to jail. You be the judge. Is this karma or this is a freak accident? You be the judge of that. In all situations, all parties, the victim, right, and those that accused of killing this man is all in a sad situation. How do you think that this man that was beaten and stabbed and murdered, he got a family felt about her and her then boyfriend of killing they loved ones? How do you think they feel, right? And then 2 years later, in June, just a couple of months, right, of the anniversary of this, her being charged and her boyfriend being charged, her being murdered viciously and violently by this train on Union Square, where it says clearly, do not pass and go down past this point right here because it's dangerous. What led her down there? The bathroom? Nah, I've been on the train so many times and I won't dare do nothing like that. I go on the platform. I'm not going down there because it's very dark. You can't see down there. Anybody that's from New York City knows that if you go down there, you go down there on your own risk. They got mole people down there. I mean, they got huge, big rats that look like uh, um raccoons that come up there from that ladder. It's a ladder and steps down there. So you go on your own risk. Now you be the judge of that. If it's karma come back 2 years later, or this is a freak accident, this entity has a way of getting away. To me, and I'm going to be the judge. I'm not going to be the judge. To me, I want you to think about it. To me, it looked like this devil, demonic demon backdoored her, got him and her to participate, right, in the beating and murder and the manslaughter of that man, the roommate, over noise. Then came back, got him locked up, then came back and finished the job with her. So now this entity killed two birds with one stone. Got her, right? And then got him, the victim that died from beating and stabbing, and got this guy locked up. Yo, this is crazy. This is how this entity work. You see, and the individuals, They're gonna record it because they're gonna think that this is an accident. Why would anybody? Because why would anybody do that? Because they can't go no further. The individuals like that's given this is not allowed to break things down from a spiritual point. This is why I come in at. There's a spiritual point. There's an entity there that's a devil demonic. After she did that act, it attached to her. It attached to her. And his job was to get her murdered, to get her in a place to murder her and take her soul and spirit to a dark, dark, dark place to me. And I send my condolences out. I send my condolences out to all of these victims. Nobody won. Everybody lost. Everybody lost. The only one that won was this barbaric, devil, demon, demonic entity that you cannot see with your eyes that lurk in the shadows and that was there, that's there for your demise. It's not there to love you. It's there to kill you and backdoor you. That's an actual true fact. You be the judge of that. Is that karma or an accident? Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace.